The CDC, the NIH, and the WHO all agree on the exact steps needed to prove a virus causes a disease. The crazy part? Not a single study in the history of virology has ever actually followed them. So, when people who question germ theory get into a debate, they often ask for two simple things. It's a logical request based on the scientific method. First, show me particles, actual viruses, that have been taken directly from a sick person, purified so it's just the particles and nothing else, and then photographed with an electron microscope. No lab-grown cultures, just pure particles from a person. Second, show me that those exact purified particles have been used in a controlled experiment to make a healthy person or animal sick with the same disease. It's a simple chain of causation. Cause and effect. Find the thing, isolate the thing, and prove the thing causes the effect. But every time, the response is the same. That's an impossible standard. Koch's postulates are outdated. You're not a scientist. You don't get to decide the rules. They say no virologist would ever agree to these standards. Well, here's where it gets wild. It turns out those impossible standards aren't made up. They are the official standards of the very organizations people trust most. Let's look at the receipts. The National Institute of Health, the NIH, on its own website, says the rules for proving an organism is pathogenic are known as Koch's postulates. The CDC, in its own 2018 field manual, states that Koch's postulates form the basis of proof and are necessary to satisfy. The World Health Organization, the WHO, was even more direct. In 2003, they stated, "Conclusive identification of a causative agent must meet all criteria in the so-called Koch's postulate." They even listed the 4 steps. Find it in all sick people, isolate it, put it in a healthy host and cause the same disease, and then find it again in the new host. So, if the highest health authorities on the planet say this is the required proof, why has it never been done for any virus? Here's the secret. They can't. In a Freedom of Information Act request, the CDC itself admitted that separating a virus from everything else, what they call purification, is outside of what is possible in virology. They can't get the main ingredient for their experiment. Instead, what they do is take a bit of fluid from a sick person, which contains human DNA, bacteria, fungi, all sorts of stuff, and mix it into a lab dish with animal cells, fetal cow serum, and a cocktail of antibiotics and other chemicals. Then, when the cells in the dish start to break down and die, they call that the cytopathogenic effect and claim a virus did it. They never actually saw a virus go in. They just assume it was there and that it, not the starvation or the toxic chemicals, killed the cells. It's like blaming a ghost for a mess in a room where you also released a tornado. You haven't isolated your variable. This isn't the scientific method. There's no proper control. They don't take the purified particle and show it causes the disease. They can't, because they never have the purified particle to begin with. Even the history is shaky. Edward Jenner, the supposed father of vaccines, based his whole smallpox theory on a Dairy Maid story. He took gunk from a sore, scratched it into a kid, and when the kid didn't get sick later, he called it a success. He never used a control group. Without a control group, you can't prove anything. It's just an observation with no scientific comparison. So, the question isn't whether we should trust science. It's whether we should demand that science follows its own rules. The authorities lay out a clear, logical chain of causation that must be proven. But when you look closely, for virology, the most important links in that chain have always been missing. They are asking us to believe in a conclusion, without ever providing the fundamental proof they themselves say is required.